Yo, good morning, Love Wrestling. It is Thursday, January 2nd, 2025, the first Firmly Love Wrestling, Firmly AEW of the new year. Welcome in, everybody. It's Thursday, so you know what that means. We're talking AEW today. It's Firmly AEW today. Got a lot to discuss this week, but first and foremost, Drew, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. How are things? How you feeling this morning? I know we got a lot to talk about, but how are you on this second day of the new year?
I have work after this. So
is this the first day? This is the first day back of the holiday vacay.
Yes. It's been exactly 2 weeks.
We're not going to get into the details, but Drew works in the school system, so he gets that nice little, school vacay time.
It's so
wonderful.
He
had one of the highlights. So we got Johnny, we got Inferno popping in the chat. Lawrence is in the chat. Welcome, gang. Happy New Year to all of you. We're just saying our hellos, starting the show off before we start diving in and all fun stuff like that. But so, Drew, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset are you that you have to go back to work today?
20.
Wow. It's fair.
Well, I mean, I'm not like emotionally broken over it.
Yeah.
Obviously, money and all.
So
it's something that needs to happen. But
for sure.
It would be nice if I had at least today off and then I go back.
See, it's one of those things where, like the fact that it's like you have to go back for Thursday and Friday and then it's the weekend.
Yeah,
that's like really you couldn't just like
annoying the most.
Yeah, like if you want to bring the kids back, so are the kids going back to school today too? Like all the teachers are back just for 2 days?
Yeah.
Oh, see, like that to me is like, what's the point of that? What's the point of that? You know what I'm saying?
And then the worst part is that my program is a Monday to Thursday.
Oh, so you don't even have Friday tomorrow?
I don't have Friday.
Wow.
So for 1 day this week.
Dude, that's lame. I wouldn't be shocked. Do a lot of people just take the extra day today? Like they use it as one of their personal days?
They are.
And sure they just take the time?
Some people.
It's fair. All right. Rock and roll, dude. Yeah, dude. Well, we have a lot to talk about because this past weekend we had a pay-per-view in AEW. We had AEW World's End. I know it's a few days removed now, but we are going to talk about the results of that. And then we'll obviously talk about the mother of all simulcasts last night, AEW Dynamite. First time streaming on HBO Max as well as on TNT or TBS like we are used to. Before we get to Dynamite, I will say I did watch it on Max. I was one of those people that was like, I'm going to check out the thing on Max. And as far as like the actual stream of it, so for me, Drew, it looked better than it does when I watch it on TBS on YouTube TV. Like it looked better and was more crisp and cleaner for me on Max last night than it usually is when I watch it on TBS on YouTube TV. So I thought as far as like quality of stream, I thought for the first go around, there were no hiccups. I didn't run into any buffering issues. I didn't run into any problems, and it looked clear and crisp. It was a very, very like pretty pitch perfect simulcast for me on Max. I probably will be going that route from here on out.
I enjoy the picture quality and everything was fine. Like, I honestly didn't notice. Like, some people are saying that it was clearer and crisper on Max versus TV.
Yeah.
I personally didn't notice that, but, um, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's probably the last time I'm watching on Max because I have no reason to.
Here we go. Here we go.
I have no reason to. There's no incentive for me to watch on Max if all
Well, I mean,
I'm
you
gonna
could get.
get during commercials is this circle loading
Oh,
in
I
the
didn't get. I didn't get
middle.
that. I didn't get that on my end. I
I
got. I
didn't
got like
see any commercials,
Oh,
and
I
I
got
didn't
commercials sometimes, and then I got AEW ads the other times, and then I just had like a HBO Max screen that said AEW Dynamite will return, and it had like
I tweeted
comic music.
last night, I tweeted what mine looked like, and it would just, like, it would either freeze on what was happening right before the
Really, it
commercial
didn't give you
break.
like the screen that said like your
Nope,
program will be right back.
nope.
That's what I. So I would get like an AEW ad sometimes. I would get a few commercial ads here or there, but mainly it was like a blue screen, like the HBO Max kind of background there, like bluish screen, and it said
I
your
could sh
program will return shortly. That's
Yeah,
weird.
it was just like I could show you actually what it was.
Yeah,
Here it
I
was,
don't
right
know.
here.
All I know is that I
We
heard a
haven't
lot of
done this before. We haven't done this before, but I'm gonna share my
no.
screen.
I all I know, and this is the old man in me, but all I know is there were way too many people bitching last night. So you just got that. You
This
just
is
got
what
that
it looked
circle.
like.
Oh, okay.
And this circle would just circle and circle and circle
All
until
right.
they came back from commercial break.
Yeah. See,
It would freeze
wait, and
or it would look like this.
you weren't getting picture in picture either, huh?
Nope.
Yeah. So yeah. See, that's not how it was for me. I did not have any of those problems. I did not have any of those problems. So
So now I don't know if that was just
well,
I don't know what my
yeah, from
Max is
my
different
personal
from other
experience.
people's.
Yeah, from my personal experience last night, I did not deal with that at all. I had no issues like that. Mine went to commercials. They
But
went to
you didn't even
AEW
have
ads.
picture in picture though.
That I don't remember. I can't recall. I can't remember if there was picture in picture or not. I feel like there was, but maybe there wasn't. Maybe it just went to commercial. But I didn't have
Nobody
any
that I was watching with on Max
Yeah.
saw picture in picture.
Okay, so then maybe there wasn't for me. I'm just not remember. But like, I didn't run into any circles of death like that. I actually had commercials and ads and at least like screens that were like, "Hey, your program will be right back." All right. Well, maybe that gets better next week. But either way, that's fine.
So my original, I would have been like to have been made aware at least that there would be no picture in picture and it wouldn't be commercial free instead of like kind of
Yeah, I saw.
being.
For me, I saw too many people complaining about that personally.
It's just because I was expecting it like a new like type of viewing experience, and I got technically worse than watching on cable because I didn't even have picture in picture, so I had no idea what was happening during the commercials.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Yeah. For me, I listen. Commercials have been a thing since the beginning of time. Yeah, see, Lawrence, I swore that I thought I had picture in picture, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to it in my brain, so I just thought I did, but I didn't. But I don't know where Pac's been. I assume he's been home for the holidays. I'm assuming. I have no idea. I have no idea where he's been, but he hasn't been there for a bit. But yeah, I thought for the most part, I thought it was a rousing success. As far as the simulcast goes last night, I did see a lot of people complaining about, oh, there's commercials on that. I mean, listen, there's been commercials since the beginning of time.
No,
But
I'm fine with commercials, but I'd like to actually see them.
yeah, see, but again, yeah, I think that was on a your side of things because I got commercials last night and I watched it on Max.
This was every single commercial break was like that.
Yeah, so that tells me that there was something wrong. I wonder if like people, I mean, we're not far away from each other, New York and Massachusetts, but I wonder if that was like because like I said, I didn't run into that at all. I ran into ads, or at least the screen that said your program will be back shortly type of thing. Like I didn't run into just frozen screens or circles of death. So, oh, here's Lou. So Lou's been a menace. I was telling Drew, Lou the last couple days, a friggin' menace, dude. He knows. Look, he's scoping out evil things. That's what he's doing. He's like, what am I going to do that's going to ruin this show?
Well, you know what? He's making sure that Ricochet doesn't come up behind you.
You know?
Sugar.
You know, we're going to talk about that.
That's a dedicated cat right there.
Let me tell you. Yeah, Lou, get to, yeah. There you go, buddy. There you go. All right. Let's go through the results of World's End, and then if there's anything that obviously we want to talk about and keep at length on, we can. But we had ourselves a little pre-show. The pre-show had 3 matches. Jeff Jarrett defeated QT Marshall in a match that no one cared about. But that was fun.
Sunday Sinner whenever he decides to pop in.
Yeah, that was fine. Look, I have no problem with Jeff Jarrett. We're going to talk about Jeff Jarrett again tonight. Or today. What? Anyway, there was an 8-man tag that saw Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and the Murder Machines, who are Lance Archer and Brian Cage, defeat the Outrunners and Top Flight. And then that young whippersnapper, Toni Storm, on her pay-per-view debut, defeated Layla Gray, also in her pay-per-view debut, which was, I thought it was the quickest match on the pre-show, sadly, but I actually thought it was the Lou. You were literally right where I needed you to be. You were right where I needed you to be, Lou. And then you did that to me. You did that to me, Lou. Unbelievable. This cat. You can still hear me, right? He hasn't ruined the microphone yet, even though he friggin' sat right on it. Son of a bitch. Anyway, we're fine. Lou, just stay there. Don't move, for the love of God. That's what happened there. And then the main card started with, yet again, another classic, no pun intended, between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. It was the first semifinal of the Continental Classic, and these two went at it, and Will Ospreay was busted open early, and he was bleeding a lot in this match. He was dripping blood in this match. I don't think this match was as good as the match they had last month, but it was right there, Drew. It was another really good match between Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Oh God, Lou. Oh God, Lou.
You're fine.
Whoo! That's how you do it, baby. All right, Lou. Way to go. You getting out of here, dude? All right, man. God bless. I'll see you later. All right. What a champ he was today. I was telling Drew, he found out that there's a basement. And for 3 days in a row, Lou will not. There's a basement door right to the right of me. And I went down there and I forgot to shut the door. And Lou found out that there was a basement. He snuck down there. And I turned around and he was just staring at me. And in that moment, I just dropped the largest F-bomb. I was like, damn it. And for 3 straight days, all he does is come in this room and claw at that door to get down there. It's been annoying. But anyway, yes, Fernando, Will Ospreay had a crimson mask in this match, but it was another real
the very definition of it, I'd say.
Yeah, it was a real good one. Another real good one between these two. I don't think it'll be the last either. Really good way to start the show with these two again, and a much more violent match than the first one with the blood and everything that was going on, but a great way to kick off this pay-per-view, Drew. And it saw Will Ospreay get his win back and get a win over Kyle Fletcher to make it to the finals of the Continental Classic, which happened later on in the evening. What did you think of this opening match with Will and Kyle?
Beautiful. It was 10 stars. Just absolutely no need for a Tokyo Dome here. Just absolutely incredible. They are in fight forever territory for me. I could see them wrestle every day, and it would not tire me whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. Johnny saying the whole Continental Classic was fantastic this year. I think, I thought the first couple of weeks
not caring, if you remember.
Yeah, I thought the first couple
it very
were
quickly
slower.
Built into something that I cared about very much.
100%. I felt like the first couple, like I saw the field and I was like, this is gonna be good. And then I felt like it was like a slow build. The first couple weeks were like, okay, this is getting pretty good. It's all right. And then once they hit that like last 2 or 3 matches of the round, it was like, whoo, it just went into a different level. It's really good. And then right after that match, we had the second Continental Classic semifinal, which saw Kazuchika Okada defeating Ricochet in another good match. You could tell, though, that Okada was saving all his good stuff for the final that we saw later on.
Yeah.
But this was a good match between him and Ricochet. I liked it. I thought it was going to be a little better than it was, to be honest with you. But it was a good match. But there was some stuff that happened after this match involving Ricochet, which led to what we saw last night on Dynamite. But first, before we get to that, what'd you think of the second semifinal with Okada getting the victory and heading to the final of the Continental Classic later on in the evening by beating Ricochet? I know we both went in and we both picked that it would be Okada versus Ospreay in the final, but I know we were both like, we could see Ricochet kind of shittily maybe making a run and winning this. So how'd you feel about this match with Okada and Ricochet?
I think based off of everything that happened post World's End, this was the exact thing that needed to happen.
Yeah. I think seeing what we saw last night, bringing everything full circle, I think it's like, okay, this is...
Because I did, so I had thought maybe one of the final matches would be a draw.
And then what, you get a triple threat or something?
And then you get a triple threat at the end.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was the reason why they decided to do it this way this year.
Mm.
I thought maybe, Ricochet and Will had that little bickering back and forth in the Hammerstein Ballroom the week prior. And Ricochet now in Swerve, Ricochet is starting to be kind of like a cocky douchebag. So maybe he would either cheat somehow, like he did in the Will Ospreay match, Collision.
Yep.
Or
I mean, he did that in a few matches in this Continental Classic. So
right.
Yeah.
Or because technically now both Ricochet and Okada are heels.
Yes.
One of, they would keep like one-upping each other on cheating to win.
Mm-hmm.
That either the ref would just throw the match out, or because it's taking longer and longer and longer, now we get to the either 20 minutes, I think it is, right? Each match?
Yeah, 20 minutes. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Something like that.
We get to the 20-minute mark and we go, oh, well, Mr. Draw, now you both have to go to the finals. So the two notable things, obviously, from during the match and post-match were everyone was cheering for Okada to win.
Yep.
And he did that slap to the back of Ricochet's
head. Oh, that was
head,
terrific. Yeah, it was good. That was a good spot.
Incredible.
That was a great spot.
Got a huge pop out of everybody. Then post-match, which is what sets up what happened on Dynamite.
Yeah, we see Swerve.
Swerve comes out.
Yeah. And he's given...
you said you were going to win.
Mm-hmm.
And
talking his shit. He's talking his shit to Ricochet, rubbing
Swerve's
it into Ricochet.
Shit.
Yeah.
And Nana is running around the ring, tossing toilet paper to the crowd.
Yeah.
And then they all throw the toilet paper, and it lands on him so perfectly. It just like drapes him. Yeah. And he just stands there with this like dorky ass grin on his face. It's like angry, like you could say the, what do they call it? The villain story, like his
origin story.
That's his villain origin story right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that happens.
Oh boy.
He gets embarrassed. Swerve calls him by his shoot name. He says, Trevor. And he says, oh, this looks good. Well, something like that. He's embarrassed. You get that. And that's how kind of the semifinals ends. And then obviously that carries over to something that happened on Dynamite, which we'll talk about in a short while. It is the thumbnail of our show today. because I do think that was the best thing that happened on Dynamite last night, without question. But as we continue along, Sandy, what's going on, man? What's going on? Tom Talks Rubbish also popping in there.
Hey, Tom, we will make that happen this year, Tom.
100%. 100%. We then had Kimmy she retired. She's retired.
Kimmy's retired.
Yeah.
Kimmy,
we got her on.
If you checked on Firmly WWE on Tuesday, we had our first ever guest on the show. It was Kimmy Sokol, who has announced she has moved on from
the media game.
To greener pastures. And we wish her well. She's a good friend of ours. And well,
but anyway.
And we wish her well in everything that she does. We know that she's going to succeed and she's going to excel at whatever it is. And hopefully she gets to come back once in a while. We'll have her on Firmly AEW. That'd be nice.
Speak for yourself. I'm kidding. We love Kimmy. I'm kidding. It's part of the shtick. Anyway, we then had a Tijuana street fight for the AEW Women's World Championship. This is exactly what I thought it would be. Not too long, weapons, chaos, but exactly what I thought it would be, because Mariah May defeats Thunder Rosa to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. I thought this match was okay. I mean, I thought it was fine. Little, street fight. It is what it is. It's what you expect it to be. I thought it was everything that I expected it to be.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, thought it was perfectly fine. Then we have MJF once again retaining or keeping, however you want to call it. He defeats Adam Cole to keep the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Then there was some stuff that happened after the match, obviously, that we saw. The match itself, I thought was fine. I feel bad because these two guys are guys that should, like, the crowd cares about these guys. All right, Sandy, enjoy your weekend, my friend.
Take care, Sandy.
From WWE on Tuesday. It feels like, Fernando, with what we saw on Dynamite last night, that hopefully it's over for a little bit.
It's definitely over.
It is. I felt really bad. Because I understand what they were doing here, but even the live crowd did not give a shit about this match. They didn't give a shit about this match. And it's kind of weird because the crowd always cares about MJF. And the crowd always cares about Adam Cole. And it just felt like everybody, including the people that are pro these guys, I just felt like I understand why they went back to it. You wanted some finality in it. We have finality in it, but I just felt like nobody cared about this match. Everybody was like, all right, let's get this over with. Let's get this over with and let's move on so these guys can do other things. And, MJF gets the victory, but after the match, we see kind of the Undisputed Kingdom, but we see the Undisputed Kingdom reunite with Kyle, with Roddy, with the Kingdom, which I thought would, but they all reunite. The Undisputed Era's back together. They all beat the crap out of MJF. They reunite in the ring, and then they kind of move on from there, it seems. So,
I don't really care.
It is what it is. Right. It is what it is to me. I'm
happy that MJF and them are definitely done.
Yeah.
It seems like they went right to the same playbook as the MJF Daniel Garcia match, where MJF won, but Daniel Garcia beat him up afterwards. Yeah. And then they were done with each other. So they did the same thing with MJF and Cole here.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Which was like, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like there was like it. I talked about last week how, you really have to like not be really focusing on what you want to happen. You just have to let whatever's happening play out.
Yeah, 100%.
I definitely fell into similar things because I figured that somebody was turning on Adam Cole at the end of this. Because why book the same feud and the same match to go for months when people didn't really want it anymore, for nothing to happen after the match?
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. nothing.
But I almost feel like now, looking back on it a few days later, I'm glad nothing happened. Because we had been coming into it like everyone's going to turn on Adam Cole. They're going to do an exact, role reversal from a year ago, and MJF's going to win, and all his buddies are going to turn on Adam. But that would have continued this. If that would have happened, that would have continued this, right? And I feel like looking back on it now,
think so. I mean,
Adam
yes,
Cole's all
have.
of Adam Cole's friends are going to turn on him, and Adam Cole's just going to be like, "All right, cool, I'm going to go over here now." No, that would have continued.
Why isn't okay? Well, hold on though. Why isn't it continuing after Adam and company beat down MJF?
Because MJF cut a promo last night that said, "Whatever, I don't give a shit. I beat you. I'm going for the world title again." They all look at Sunday. It's part of the gang. It's part of being a wrestling fan is letting your mind take you to the fan. But yes, most things that fans are become not happy about, it's not because the company did something. Sometimes it is, don't get me wrong. But it's not most of the time, it's not because the company did something wrong. It's because in your brain, you thought it should have went a certain way and it didn't. So now you're angry. Like that, it's just part of being.
So after railing about that last week, I then fell into that trap and went, okay. And you want to know, but you want to know something though? I came to a kind of a revelation this morning because Ibu of Wrestle Purist, a wonderful, wonderful follow if you're not following him on Twitter. He tweeted about how people chasing their old gimmicks in other companies generally tends to not, I'm paraphrasing, but it's just like how they when you come into AEW to chase your past promotions like glory, it doesn't tend to work out as well. It makes more sense when you reinvent yourself. That's kind of like when people start to gravitate towards you more.
Yeah.
Like if Ricochet came in and just stayed as Ricochet,
I mean,
the same Ricochet that he was in WWE.
Well, we saw what happened because that's what he did do. And people were booing him and turning on him. And then they said, okay.
People were
and
already,
now
exactly.
They've adjusted and they've did right by him. But that's exactly what you're going to get. 100%.
So then what happened was this more when I read that, it kind of dawned on me that, and specifically related to what we're talking about now, I kind of started to realize that when I'm seeing old like NXT Black and Gold or WWE as a whole acts and stuff and while I realized that Undisputed Era was not strictly an NXT.
I was going to say, because Sunday Center just said, like, Adam Cole's been playing the same character that he's been since Ring of Honor. Like, this is before. He's been this guy for, like, over, like, like, he's been this guy. Because I obviously they're booking them together that the Undisputed Era is on our screen now. Like, they're booking that. But the Adam Cole character, I wouldn't say.
I went and I saw a little bit of the Adam Cole from Ring of Honor.
I mean, he didn't, Mike. He didn't shrink. He didn't shrink, Mike. He's the same height he's been for a decade. So I think you're just being a little too negative, buddy. But
it's not what Mike is saying. I don't agree with that at all.
No, I don't agree with it at all.
I'll
go at anybody that talks about size because it's ridiculous. Demetrius Williams weighed 110 pounds and he would kill most people on earth. I don't care about size. I don't care about size at all. But anyway, continue.
It's not a surprise. It shouldn't come as a surprise to anybody when I say that I'm kind of cold on the AEW product right now. A little bit.
Yeah.
I think if you've seen the reviews, I'm not talking as highly about AEW that I have, you know, like I would say pre-August of last year.
Yeah.
Because remember, you were kind of cold on it, and I was the one coming in every week going, "Oh, the show's great." You know, not that you were shitting on it by any means.
No, I was
but
just like, it's mid. It's kind of just whatever right now.
yeah. And now I feel like that now.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling that probably since about, I'll say, September for the most part.
Mm.
And there were bits and pieces of new, breathing a new thing, like the Death Riders thing, like that was like, oh, whoa, that would make me like intrigued and want to see the next week.
Mm.
Unfortunately, that died out kind of quickly.
Oh, we're gonna talk about those guys. We're gonna talk about those guys. But
when I read Ibu's tweet, it made me think like, okay, so Undisputed Era was, because I never watched Ring of Honor before Tony Khan took it over,
yeah,
was an NXT thing.
yeah,
I know Undisputed Era, Adam and Kyle and Roddy. I know that from NXT.
yeah.
And that's from an era of NXT, the Black and Gold era, that is highly regarded as, even at that time,
It was the best
the
wrestling in
best
the world.
WWE product.
Yeah. At that
People
time,
did not give
NXT
a
was
shit.
considered like the best maybe the best
Yeah.
in the world at that time. The Black and Gold. They were doing it was incredible.
I have an NXT Men's Championship for a reason. It's because that was my favorite from like 20.
Yeah.
I want to say 2015-ish, late 2015, all the way to kind of right before the 2.0 era. I was pretty much into NXT and loved NXT and everybody on NXT, and part of that was a Disputed Era. So at the moment, this might be weird to say, but my fandom of AEW is not matching my fandom of Black and Gold NXT. I actually find Black and Gold NXT to have...
Wait, did you ever think that AEW was better than Black and Gold NXT? I love AEW, but it has never even touched. Nothing really has.
Well, I
in the
mean,
last decade. But like, I don't. Yeah, I know. I don't know how we got here, but like,
when it started,
yeah, it was great. And AEW has
I watched the first Dynamite back because they put it on Max, and I watched it. It was the first time I had watched it back, I think, ever.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, look at like this full sold out arena and all these fans and all the lighting. You can see everybody, which they did change. They changed the lighting last night, so they actually lit the crowd again like they did back then. So that looks great. I'm happy about that. I hope they keep that. But like that was when it was the anti Vince McMahon WWE era of wrestling.
That was a brand new company on its first, like,
it was a brand new company. Yeah.
Like, so obviously it's 5 years old now, man. So like nobody's gonna be that excited as they were when a brand new company with all this energy and all this, hell yeah, something different. Like I feel like comparing it. Yeah, that's
it's not. Well, so I'm not comparing it in that regard. What I mean to say is that Black and Gold was, in my eyes, I was enjoying AEW more than Black and Gold from the start up until around like 2022-ish. Like kind of that same time frame that Sinner's saying.
Fair.
All that CM Punk stuff and
all that we've talked about it, Pony. Let's keep going.
I think that now I don't want to see... I appreciate wrestlers in like when they go from multiple companies, acknowledging the history of that wrestler in those companies. I like that. That's something that WWE stopped, or or never did really up until, post-pandemic era wrestling, with Triple H taking over. So I like that. I like when wrestlers' histories are acknowledged when they move through different promotions. I would never call a wrestler X WWE, X company, unless that was really their only company. Like Adam Copeland, for example, that's an ex-WWE guy.
Well, yeah, of course.
But Adam Cole, I would not consider an NXT an ex-WWE guy, because Adam Cole really became a WWE guy because of his time before WWE.
Yeah,
When
that's fair.
when NXT was kind of like emulating Ring of Honor in a sense, which is what made it so popular amongst fans. But I want to see I like the history being acknowledged, but I think I would rather see a new iteration of that wrestler instead of a carbon copy of what they previously were. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm really interested in the Ricochet thing now, because Ricochet has never done something like that before.
Yeah,
As far as I know.
I get it.
his
Yeah,
whole
it
career.
feels fresh. I guess my thing with it is these
The
three, like I
Undisputed
said, like,
Era is not fresh for me at all.
no, which is fine, But I don't. Is that their fault, or is that the dude that's booking its fault? Like, I'm not going to
Oh, it's
judge
the dude
Adam
that's
Cole,
booking his
Kyle.
fault.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge the three of them.
I'm not blaming them for it at
Yeah,
all.
because the guy's like, this
It's
is what
Tony
we're,
Khan's fault for sure.
Yeah. So for me, I get that, and I think it was a good point that Ibu made. But for me, it's kind of one of those things where, like, I understand why they do that. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I think this is going to lead to a story. Personally, you separate MJF and Adam Cole, let them go on different ways so they're not involved. Yeah, and then you do have people like Johnny who don't watch the WWE product, and like that's fresh for him. You know what I mean? So again, we're coming from an angle of like we've kind of watched everything, we've and stuff like that. For me, let them do this thing, let them figure it out. I personally think that somebody will turn out of the three of them at some point, and then we'll kind of I don't know. I would like to see more of a different. I don't care about anything that's going on with either of these guys right now, to be honest with you.
Right, and that's the problem. I want to care.
Yeah, but to me though, but I don't think it's who they're playing or the fact that they're running back the Undisputed Era. I think it's because we were done with that story. If MJF all of a sudden is fighting Hangman Adam Page now and heading towards the world title, we immediately are going to care about MJF again. If Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era are going for the trios titles or the tag titles, or Adam Cole's going for the TNT championship or whatever, we're going to care about. It's really about that's how I view it. Like, I don't think we're going to, I think we didn't care about this match and we didn't care about these two guys because they were, when they came back and were going at it again, we were like, okay, we're done with this. We're done with these two. Like, I think, like Fernando says, I think we were more just done with this feud than I think it has to do with like how they're being, or specifically Adam Cole in this conversation is being portrayed. Like last night, the promo with the three of them, I wasn't bored by that. I was like, all right, yeah, they're back together. Let's go. I do think one of those guys should probably, I would love Adam Cole to turn on both of them like a couple months down the road and just be like, yeah, see, I'm out of here. I'm going to go be a bad guy now. That's what I would like to see.
Doesn't that create a feud between them?
Yeah, but I'm cool with Adam feuding with Roddy, and I don't care about that. I just wanted Adam to be away from MJF. That's what I care about. MJF should be, somebody said earlier that MJF kind of needs a reset here, like a hard reset, not like in character, but yeah. Next time we see him, and he said it last night in the promo a little bit, he needs to be going for world champion. Like, he needs to, that's it. Like,
oh yeah, that promo last night was his reset.
Yeah,
was
and that's what it should be. He should be going, like, I understand he's a heel, but guess what? He should be going for the AEW World Championship. Like, he should be one of the guys on Team AEW. Even though he's a heel, he should be one of the guys that's going for Mox and going, no. You know? So, but I think it'll be a good thing now that it seems like they are going to be separated and away from each other. I think this will be a good thing for both of them, because I do think you give them new, not fresh, but you give them new, fresh storylines with different people. I think we'll be feeling good about both these guys again that we normally do. It's just, we got our finale. We went back to it. It's over. Let's move on. We then had, again, I said that this could be a sleeper match, and I thought it was. We had Konosuke Takeshita defending and retaining his international championship, defeating Powerhouse Hobbs. Good match. Good match.
Yeah.
Between these two guys. I thought this had a chance for sleeper potential, and it did. I thought this was really, really good. Takeshita is special, man. I know we say it a lot, and so isn't Hobbs, but Takeshita, man, that guy is he's the real deal, man. He is the real deal. But this was a good match. He retains. I wonder where he goes from here, Takeshita. I wonder where both these guys go from here a little bit. But Takeshita, like, I wonder who's next in line that's going to be making a run at Takeshita for that time. Like, I think about an Adam Cole, or I think about somebody like that. Like, I think a guy of that stature going after a mid-card title like this. But they both have championships, Fernando, and they're both bad guys, so that's not going to happen. So that's not an option. So
I don't know. I'm a little worried about Hobbs. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, and again, I worry about
from
Hobbs
what happened last night. I'm a little worried.
Yeah, and we'll get there. We then had the longest match on the card. The longest match in women's wrestling or women's match history in AEW. We had Mercedes Moné once again defeating and retaining her TBS championship against Chris Statlander. This match almost went 25 minutes. It went 24 minutes and 35 seconds, which is the longest women's match in the history of the company, which defeated their previous match, which at the time was the longest match in the history of the company. I look at that number 24:35 and I'm like, you couldn't have just made it to 25 minutes. You couldn't have gave him 20. Like, you couldn't. You're so close.
Probably. I don't think that I wouldn't blame the company for that.
I know, but I'm like, you're so close to 25 minutes. You couldn't just give him 25 minutes. Takeshita versus Brody King. That would be nice. I would be all in on that, bonkers. That's a good one. Yeah, I feel like AEW has a problem booking big guys.
Yeah, none of
they
them
have a problem booking big guys. Fernando, 1,000%. Mercedes
Miro, gone.
Yeah.
Hobbs is like Lance Archer, I guess, is like kind of the best booked big guy.
Yeah, but they never did anything significant with him. Really?
No, they didn't.
You know? Yeah, they have a problem booking big guys. Big Bill right now, currently. Wardlow, I think,
he's
is
the
injured.
Best booked big guy right now.
Yeah, Wardlow, I believe, was injured or has been injured. Sean talked about this on one of his the last couple weeks. He said that Wardlow's been injured for a while. So that's what he said. I agree. And when Brian Cage was with Big Bill and that tag team they had, they should have been strapped up with those titles and carried them for a long, long time. I feel like Archer and Cage should become the AEW World Tag Team Champions at some point. And they should kind of be the center or run the division with people trying to get them off. They got big guys. Use the big guys. They might be getting another big guy because yesterday Baron Corbin became available. He was backstage at World's End saying hi to some friends and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's another big guy that if you bring him in, you got to know how to book big guys. And I think AEW
and they've got Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin right now, and they are
Bobby Lashley. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Yes. But this match right between Monet and Statlander, another classic by them. I like the first match more, but this one was another really, really good one. They do have excellent chemistry, like Fernando says, like truly excellent. Honestly, obviously Mercedes has won 2 in a row, so I don't think Statlander has really deserved a third go at it. But these two are in fight forever territory for me as well, Drew. Much like Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, because these two matches that these ladies had, Mercedes is in her bag right now, man. Mercedes is in her bag right now. Since that first match with Statlander, she's just having bangers. Like this is the Mercedes that I think we all thought we were getting.
Somewhere voted like 3 matches of her were like matches here.
Yeah. So she's
been
been really feeling it the last, and she's fighting Mina Shirakawa at Wrestle Dynasty, champion versus champion this weekend. That should be a really good one as well. I think this is kind of the Mercedes we were all expecting from the jump, is what we're seeing here these last couple months. But another really, really great match between these two. And then we had, in my opinion, the match of the night. It was the final of the Continental Classic. It was Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. And we saw Kazuchika Okada defeat Will Ospreay to cement himself, as, in my opinion, as the greatest tournament wrestler of all time. His 5th win in major tournaments. He's obviously won the G1 in Japan 4 times. Now, Mike, I don't necessarily disagree, but I felt like they, going into this, obviously Okada was the Continental Champion, but they were really, really driving the point that Okada was the best tournament wrestler in the world. And I think him winning because he was the Continental Champion, but he didn't get that from winning the tournament. He just got that from just winning a match against Eddie Kingston. So I think this was the moment for them to cement, he's winning this. He's the best. I think Fletcher's already made, though, dude. I think Fletcher's already, like, I think Fletcher is already recognized that everyone knows when they see that guy that guy's the guy. I think Okada needed it to win it, cement himself as the best tournament guy, cement himself as the real Continental Champion. And then we obviously saw what happened after this match that we'll get to. But first and foremost, this match with him and Ospreay was just incredible, especially the last like 5 minutes. It was just what you would expect it to be. Just what you would expect it to be. Just tremendous stuff.
And it did legitimately look like Will was going to win a couple times.
Oh yeah. But Okada gets the win with the Rainmaker. They did have a little sign of respect at the end. But then Ospreay leaves the ring. Christopher Daniels comes out and he says, "Hey, usually this is where I would bring the belt down there and hand it to you, but I am no longer an EVP here, so I am not eligible to do that." But he says, "But this guy is." And we see the return of Kenny Omega looking good.
Oh, that suit he was wearing?
Yeah. Looking good. He looked a little like he looked slimmer. He did look
a little slimmer, yeah.
Obviously,
he had because that suit was beautifully tailored.
But he also diverticulitis is no joke.
No, it isn't.
So I would not be shocked if he did. He had to have surgery to remove some stuff, and he had to heal. Like, I would not be shocked if he's maybe a little thinner than we're used to seeing Kenny because of all that and stuff like that. But he looked great. And him and Okada, he goes down there, he gives him the belt. And, we get the face-to-face Omega and Okada. It's happening sooner than we think in AEW. It's going to be good. We're seeing Kenny hit the ring again this Sunday. He's fighting Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty. That will be his official first match back since being out of action since last year. And as we saw last night on Dynamite, he will be on next week's Dynamite. Kenny Omega is returning to Dynamite next week. So,
and
Kenny's
also,
back, man.
So the guy that he's wrestling in New Japan, Gabe Kidd,
free agent.
Yes, you're right. He's becoming a free agent very soon. I think right
that
after
guy's a star in the making. Again, within the next that guy's a star, man.
He is. I am captivated by him. Anytime he talks, I'm just like that I see. I'm just but and I don't know if like he's if this is just them like going, yeah, you can say literally whatever you want about Tony Khan. But man, does he really dig the knife in deep when
Oh yeah,
when he talks.
yeah,
So
great promo.
he maybe I would have no problems with him in AEW at all. I think he
Oh,
would
I
be
think that's
incredible.
100% where he will go. 100%, that's where he will go. If I'm New Japan, I'm trying to sign him because I think he's a top guy. Like I think if New Japan can sign him to a multi-year deal, he's the guy you need to build your whole federation. Like he's the guy you need to build the whole company around. Like I think that guy is like future champ. Like that's who it is. But if Tony's there and Tony wants to give him the bag, I think the second Gabe Kidd shows up on AEW television, he's a star. He's a star immediately. Yeah, I mean he could, but I don't know if he works in. Again, in today's WWE, with the people that are in charge, I think he would work better than if it was previous WWE. But I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
if he's gonna. I don't know if he will be able to be the full Gabe Kidd if he goes to
no,
WWE.
he
I think he'll have a
definitely
lot
wouldn't.
more freedom in AEW to kind of be that guy. But yeah,
And I want to see his energy matched with MJF's energy when they're like both on their game.
yeah.
Because boy, oh boy, that would be something.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not, Pluggo.
Oh,
Hopefully not.
Meg,
Well, they're saying because it's not Adam Copeland anymore. He's just Cope.
let's just move on. I don't
Yeah,
want
we're
to
gonna
talk
move
about
on. I
that.
don't want to talk about that stupid shit. All right, and well, you know what else was stupid shit? This main event, awful. So
Oh,
we had
thank
a
you,
fatal,
God.
just terrible. What a terrible, terrible main event. Um, John Moxley retained his AEW World Championship, defeating Orange Cassidy, Hangman Adam Page, and Jay White by pinfall. I hated that Jay White took the pinfall here. Hated it. I hated mostly everything about this. I thought there were parts in this match that were good. I thought there were parts in this match that were good. I like all four guys in the match, but listen, here's my problem. John Moxley and the Death Riders for 2 months have been talking about how they hate what AEW has become. AEW needs to get back to his roots and all this stuff. And then this main event was the most sports entertaining bullshit that I've ever seen AEW do. So how can you sit there, John Moxley, and tell me that AEW needs to get back to its roots and get back to what started this company and all this shit, and then you put on a WWE main event? And I like WWE. We talk about WWE, but AEW is not WWE. You know what? You know what was the core of what AEW was? The match right before it with Okada and Ospreay. That's what AEW was built on. That type of shit. And then you're going to yell at me that AEW's lost its way and you're here to protect AEW and get it back to its roots. And you do the most WWE sports entertainer bullshit main event I've seen in the company. Garbage. This could have happened on a fucking Dynamite. And everything that happened after with FTR and I'm glad Adam Copeland is back. I'm not going to call him Cope because that's dumb. I'm glad Adam Copeland is back. I loved his run before he got hurt. That was some of my favorite stuff he was doing in his career. We'll talk about Dynamite. I liked the main event of Dynamite last night way more than this crap. But, like, sorry, the whole end of this show could have happened last night. Could have happened last night. And it would have been fine. But to end the show, especially when the two matches before this main event were Mercedes and Chris and Ospreay and Okada, and then you give me this crap? No. Terrible. Not good. Did not like this main event, clearly, at all. The post-match stuff was fine. I'm glad Copeland's back. It was a good moment. I'm sure if you were there, it was amazing. I get it. Could have happened on a Dynamite. Could have happened on a Dynamite.
Yeah. I'm kind of like more upset about Adam Copeland being a guy going after John Moxley right now it's so they're gonna have this casino gauntlet next week.
Yeah.
Whoever wins the casino gauntlet faces John Moxley at Maximum Overdrive the following week.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like that's just going to be a waste of a 25-minute match because Adam Copeland is just going to win that and face him on the following week. We already know that because that's what's happening. Just like Adam Cole won the Battle Royal to face
MJF.
MJF for the diamond ring because that was what the match was always going to be. So they're already setting up. I mean, if it's not Copeland, I'll be shocked personally.
Yeah.
Because there
I'm kind of with
people that
I'm kind of with Sinner there. I'm not 100% bought in that Copeland will win. I could see somebody maybe preventing him from winning.
Sinner's just ignore him right now.
Well, I know, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know. I would assume you're probably right. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that because let me tell you. Give me a break. Mike, I do. I do think the Christian thing with Copeland being back, I do think adds another element to the Christian side of this. And I wonder if Copeland being thrusted into this, and now all of a sudden I'm team AEW, Mr. AEW, going to go, Copeland being that guy. I wonder if that, we've been talking about how, and I still kind of think Darby is going to be the guy that eventually takes it off Moxley. I feel like that's still the story.
I think Darby they're getting is doing absolutely fuck all until he does his Everest shit, which I think is personally a really fucking dumb thing to do. But
yeah, I don't know.
Tony's just going to let him do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
And, God forbid he doesn't even fucking survive that. Imagine he was the AEW world champion and then
that's fair.
Dies on Mount Everest because he's
that's
an
fair.
idiot.
That's fair.
And
that's fair.
I
just I don't know. To me,
it
feels
Death Riders thing. Can we literally not see the fucking world championship until like May? Could you imagine?
I think full gear. I think full gear. I think full gear would not full gear. Revolution. I think Revolution in March is the end of this, no matter what. I don't see it going past that. Well, that's like what, March, beginning of March or something like that. So
yes, March 6th or something. I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is
anything that's happening with Darby for the next.
And I think Spencer has. I think Darby winning it and carrying the title up to the top of Everest for that photo is something that Tony would want.
No, he's just going to put an AEW flag up. He said.
Yeah, but if he can put an AEW flag up there with a picture of him holding the AEW world title up there, I think that's a picture AEW will show us for the rest of time. But
I don't think that image is worth the risk of that image.
I agree. But look, if he's going to do it, he's going to do it. Jay White and Mox in Australia certainly makes a lot of sense. That would certainly make a lot of sense for the big match in Australia with Jay White being from New Zealand, not far away. I think Darby is going to win that belt and Christian is going to immediately cash in on Darby. That's what I think.
I'd rather that than him cashing in on Moxley because that just doesn't make any sense.
No, but what if now though, Adam Copeland beats Moxley and Christian cashes in on Copeland? That would make sense, obviously, right? Because of Christian and Adam Copeland's history. That would clearly make
their
sense.
History and whatnot, I think would make the most sense.
So like if that were to happen, so now all of a sudden Cope is thrusted into
as the world champion though.
I think he'll be a good filler champion to get to somebody. Like Sinner said, what if Darby beats Christian for it? So what if now it's Adam Copeland and Moxley? They decide to put the strap on Copeland and then Christian cashes on Copeland right away. And then you get the one-off match with Copeland and Christian. And then Darby eventually is the one who takes it off Christian because they have a history too.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. So Revolution, they do Copeland,
and Mox. Copeland beats Mox, but Christian cashes in on Copeland, and he leaves Revolution as the champ.
Right. So then Darby goes and does his Mount Everest thing.
Yep.
And then
you have Copeland
back.
and Christian for a little bit.
Right.
Christian wins. Because I do think Copeland and FTR should be trios champions. I feel like that is where they should be. If they're going to run if they're going to run with the rated FTR thing like that, if that's what they're going to do.
But then there's also Undisputed Era.
But you're telling me you wouldn't like that feud for the trios belts? I would be all in on that for a little bit. No pun intended. That's a nice little feud you could have for a little bit.
Yeah.
For the trio, make the trios titles matter again, because they're in the Death Rider still, but one of the guys isn't even around. Pac hasn't been there for a month. Yeah. They're not getting defended. The tag titles aren't even getting friggin' defended. So, it's like one of these things where it's like, you want to make the trios title, so.
Well, they're being defended on Collision this week.
That is true. All right.
The tag title.
Yeah. So that was World's End. A lot of good in World's End. I thought it was a good show overall, and there was a lot of good. Just the main event, not for me, man. Not for me. Yeah, just didn't work for me. And then that leads us all over to Dynamite last night, the mother of all simulcasts. That's what they called it. Was he on the last Rampage? I feel like he hasn't been around. Well, you mean in Hammerstein? All right, so that's only a couple weeks. I feel like he hasn't been on Dynamite in a month. That's what I feel like, But all right, the show opens. What'd you think of the new music? They went with the Pointer Sisters.
Oh no, I forgot about this.
Oh my God, are you fucking that much of a curmudgeon that you didn't even like one of the greatest songs of all time?
It doesn't fit for me. Like, that song is not a bad song by any means, but like all these like menacing looks from like Bobby Lashley and MJF and Samoa Joe, and there's this like 80s gay club song going to it is like,
yeah, there we go. We're the future of wrestling, bringing back tunes from the 70s and 80s. Look, I like that AEW uses real music. I like that they use real music. I'm fine with them
using real music. I mean, they got Mikey Ruckus right there, the greatest wrestling theme guy of this generation.
Well,
and also created the first song that was a great song.
One of them. I would say the old WWE guys were probably the best. But the guys
that this generation.
Yeah, but what's the they were around. What was their name? What was the name? CFO? What was it? What was the name? The guys in WWE that did like all
CFO?
Yeah, the ones that
they were good. They were decent.
They were very good.
They weren't like
Asuka, Shinsuke, AJ Styles, all those great theme songs. That was all them. And those are all better than anything AEW's come up with. But
that is objectively false.
No, it's not.
That is objectively false.
Those three theme songs in particular are better than any theme song that has ever existed in AEW.
You're saying which one? Which three theme songs?
Shinsuke's original, AJ Styles, his WWE original theme, which they got rid of for some reason, might be one of the best in the history of the company. And Asuka's, 1000%. Terrific. All three of them.
And you're saying that those are better than every single AEW theme?
That's not real music? Yeah. I would say I would be confident in that. Again, I'm not nowadays WWE has the worst. I thank you, Mike. Nowadays WWE has the worst music maybe in the history of professional wrestling. Today, so it doesn't. That is true. He is very anti AEW. But my thing is, nowadays WWE's music is the worst it's ever been, ever. The worst. There has never been a worse music in a company currently than what is going on over in WWE. It is trash. But in that height,
Joe's AEW theme right now is
the WWE one he had was better.
You think the WWE one was better?
Mm-hmm.
The
Lucha Brothers is great.
Had a banger song.
Who?
The Lucha Bros.
Yep, Lucha Bros is great.
Keith Lee's song. Mariah May's song.
Again, these are current.
Adam Cole's song.
The Adam Cole song is great. Adam's Cole song is great. However, the Undisputed Era song, great. Again, I'm just saying in general, when you say this generation, you're talking like 10, 15 years. I just, MJF's theme is excellent. It's excellent. Yeah. They each, right now, there's no competition. Right now, there's no competition because the WWE has some of the worst entrance themes I've ever heard of in my life. Right now, currently. But there was a stretch there where it was banger galore. It was bangers galore. But I wish WWE used real music as much as AEW uses real music. I wish they did, but they just don't. I don't know. I don't know why.
Swerve. Well, I mean, Swerve created that. That's not really AEW.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to be honest, Spencer, I think the Bang Bang Gang, low-key underrated theme song. I love their entrance, with they had like the country western vibe and they would show the guns spit in the water, like the gunshot. I thought it was great.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. Anyway, again, that is not slander toward Mikey Ruckus is amazing. That is not, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's as clear as day like that. WWE had a stretch where it was, banger galore.
I think WWE had a stretch when it was in the 90s to the 2000s, but I'm not saying that CFO didn't have good themes. They
had all-time great themes. All-time great themes. Shinsuke Nakamura's theme, one of the best wrestling themes of all time. Crowd singing it, the violin, all of it. That was that. Yeah, again, I don't know. Just saying, they had some good ones. I don't know how we went from the Pointer Sisters to that, but
well, you said an objectively false statement.
No, I did not. You made a comment that was objectively false, and then I just corrected you.
I don't need to hear the Pointer Sisters as Dynamite's theme ever again. Even though that's the theme.
I think you got to get used to it. I think you got to get used to it because I think that is the theme.
It does not fit at all.
I think that. Well, you're not excited about Dynamite, Drew?
Well, as has been clear, as I said earlier, I'm not generally excited to watch AEW.
Come on, isn't everybody? Come on.
But
well, let's talk about Dynamite, shall we?
Watching the video, and the music together, it does not.
It's fair.
They do not blend. It's very strange.
Yeah. It does not fit as well as Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting by Elton John. I feel like that's a real good throwback
that song. Technically older. That song is older by like 10 years.
Yes.
So that's like a 50-year-old song versus this 40-something-year-old song.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like the Elton John song fits way better. And maybe I missed it. I am very excited. I know you didn't like the experience you got last night on the simulcast, but I'm very excited that I didn't know that Collision was also going to be part of Max every week. I thought it was just going to be Dynamite. So the fact that it's Collision too, that makes me.
If you do not have cable,
because I think that can. The only reason I have, or I pay for the type of cable that I do, is for AEW, because I don't get TBS and TNT on all the other platforms. So, but now that both Collision and Dynamite are on Max, if you wanted to cut cable, I think that would help you. Anyway. I think that would help.
If you don't have cable, if you are a streaming service only person and you don't have Hulu TV or YouTube TV or regular cable, all the cable packages, Spectrum and Optimum and whatever. Then I get it. And then it's like, okay, I'm watching like as if I were watching on TV. But because I have YouTube TV, I don't need to watch on Max because it's literally the same viewing experience.
Yeah, 100%. That's fair. Yeah, again, like we talked about it at the top of the show. However you want to watch it, I don't care. I might go back and forth, because I have both. The people that are complaining about the the ads. I don't have time for you. Because guess what we're going to hear on Monday? When WWE debuts on Netflix,
Yeah.
guess what we're going to hear? Is half the friggin' wrestling community. Oh, I paid for Netflix, but this fucking commercial. You paid for cable too all those years, and guess what? There were commercials. This is not new. Stop complaining.
Well, but you
Stop
don't
bitching.
pay for cable commercial free. You pay for Netflix commercial free.
It's the same. It's the same shit. You paid for Netflix and all these things like you paid for cable back in the day. You got commercials. Commercials are a thing. How do you think Netflix pays for WWE to be on their programming? Because of ad revenue. That's how. It's going to happen.
I'm not refuting what you're saying.
I
I'm
know, but just
saying
seeing so many people.
It's different. It is different though, because you pay for cable knowing that you're getting commercials on cable. You pay for commercial free Netflix, Hulu, Max, whatever.
Yeah.
Expecting to not get commercials on those things because you're paying for commercial free.
Yes. But when you watch Netflix, Hulu, all these things, when you watch their original programming, you don't get commercials. But when they're paying $5 billion to get Raw on there, you're going to see friggin' commercials. Cry about it. Jesus.
One could say, cope.
Yeah, cope with it. How about you cope with it? Anyway. Dynamite last night. Started off. They showed a post-show promo that happened at World's End where Jon Moxley's talking about the bullets he's taken for this company, and he won't let anyone put hands on the title. And he knows everything that Scott, I will agree with you there. Peacock, not great. Not a great scenario there. But he says that he knows exactly what Adam Copeland is about, whatever that means. And then we get Rated FTR cutting a promo in the gorilla section in the back. They said, hey, it's 2025. They're going to get going. Adam Copeland said that he saw something in Moxley that he hasn't seen for a long time, and that was fear. He saw fear in Jon Moxley's eyes at World's End. And he knows that as sick as Moxley is, he's not sicker than Copeland. Fair enough. And then Dynamite opened with Hangman Adam Page going one-on-one with Orange Cassidy. Good little opening match between these two. Hangman Adam Page ends up getting the pinfall victory with the buckshot lariat. But after that, Hangman starts attacking Orange Cassidy after the match. He hits another Deadeye after the match. And then he hits another Deadeye after the match. And then Christopher Daniels, of all people, comes down. He gets in Adam Page's face. And then Hangman beats the crap out of Daniels. So we had the opening match. It was a good little back and forth match. Hangman gets the victory. He does a unnecessarily post-match beatdown on Cassidy. And then Christopher Daniels comes out. So are we going towards a Hangman Adam Page versus Christopher Daniels match? Is that what we're getting here? Because he's not an EVP anymore. So I assume that means he can wrestle or fight.
Even though he came out dressed like an EVP still.
He did. He was wearing the shirt and tie. And they even said on commentary, they said he's not an EVP anymore, but he's still an office guy. Like he's still a whatever. But is that where we're going here? We're going Hangman versus Daniels?
I saw the first AEW Dynamite where SCU were cutting a promo outside the White House.
Mm-hmm.
Just remembering what once was.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. Remember Scorpio Sky? I liked him. So that happened. He's still the talent related. Yeah. So I don't know. He's not an EVP, but he's still working. He's still a suit. Is he going to wrestle? He's not going to wrestle. He got physical. I don't know. Whatever. We then go backstage and Switchblade Jay White is cutting a promo. He talks about how he had plans to become the AEW world champion, and it was right in his midst. But Wheeler Yuta decided to get involved in the four-way and cost him the moment that he was waiting for. And he says that words won't do it justice of how that makes him feel. And he's going to show Yuta over and over just how he feels as he continues his path to Moxley through the Casino Gauntlet next week. We then get, because this was a little nifty thing that happened here. We have a promo, Max Caster, Anthony Bowens in the back. Max Caster starts off by saying he's the greatest wrestler in the world, and Bowens interrupts him immediately. He says, enough with this crap. He goes, I'm tired of this. He goes, I just need to know, did you hit? He goes, I had Jericho beat, and I just need to know, did you hit me on purpose with that belt? And Max Caster says, hey, man, why are you doing this now, right in the middle of our promo? He goes,
that was one of the greatest, like, it's like, hello, we could have talked about this for a week.
He's like, you wait till now to talk about this? Like, you couldn't have mentioned it. Like, it's been a week almost. What are you doing? He's like, why are you bringing this up now? He goes, of course I didn't do it on purpose. And he goes, hey, and he says to Anthony Bowens, he goes, tonight, no funny stuff. He goes, I'm not even going to rap. I'm not getting in trouble tonight. Tonight is serious. We're going against the Hurt Syndicate. Tonight is serious. He goes, no funny stuff, no scissoring. I'm not going to rap. Let's take care of business. And Bowens kind of just rolls his eyes and walks off. And then Caster calls himself the greatest wrestler alive, blah, 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 blah. We then go to a tag match, and it is the Hurt Syndicate, Lashley and Shelton Benjamin against the Acclaimed. We have MVP on commentary for this one. And Max Caster's getting the shit kicked out of him right away. Just right away getting the shit kicked out of him. Lashley is just throwing him around, destroying him. Bowens then gets a tag. He's in there. He's holding his own. Caster wants back in. So Bowens tags him back in. And then Shelton Benjamin starts destroying Caster again. And then Bowens is kind of just standing around ringside like he's like basically done with it. You know what I mean? And he basically ends up walking out on Max Caster.
He did. And that, yeah. So what was the beautiful thing? What the beautiful thing was about this was that they had basically, this was a squash match. One side. Anytime Max was in the ring, he didn't get any offense. As soon as Anthony tagged in, Anthony got all the offense.
Yep.
And then Max did
tag himself back
in there.
Yeah.
And then they had that little bickering back and forth, and that was what made Anthony go, you know what? You're the best wrestler alive.
Yeah. Take care of it. He actually,
go ahead.
When the camera panned over to Bowens, you could hear him. He said, you're the best wrestler alive. And he goes, and you're a selfish asshole.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's what he said. He called him a selfish asshole. And then he walked off.
He also, in the back, before, when they were doing that promo, he said that Anthony said that he hadn't punched Max yet because Billy Gunn asked him not to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
do you think Max Caster can join the Hurt Syndicate? Because they fought the Hurt Syndicate here. I think that was on purpose, kind of, that it was them. They've been doing this thing with Caster and the Hurt Syndicate and the Acclaimed.
Some people are saying maybe Anthony joins the Hurt Syndicate.
I wouldn't be opposed to that because I do think of the two, Anthony is a true star. Of the two, that's my thought process. He is Bobby Lashley's sister. So that was my process. They are related. So I just didn't know if I don't disagree with you, Fernando, that Caster doesn't fit, but he kind of does, though. He kind of does. But now that you mentioned Bowens maybe join, I see Bowens as a face, though. Don't we all see him as a face?
But yeah, I do too, absolutely.
Right?
He could be one of the best baby faces for the company.
I think so, yeah. Like, I think the crowd will really get behind that guy if they give him a proper singles push as a baby. Like, I think he would be a fan favorite big time. I don't know. We're going to talk about somebody that we've talked about already, but so we after this Hurt Syndicate stuff and the Acclaim stuff, Swerve Strickland is backstage. He says he hears him. He hears the Swerve chants. He has to apologize for the people who scream his name because he's been distracted the last few weeks. He says, but tonight he gets back to what he's best at, and that's showing everybody why 2024 was his year, was Swerve's year. And then he walks off, and before Prince Nana walks off, he goes, "Oh, one more thing, Happy New Year," and he does his little dance, and he gets off. And then we had Jamie Hayter going up against the returning Julia Hart. You know what? I'm going to tell you this. I missed that Julia Hart entrance. Goddamn, man.
Me too.
What an entrance. What an entrance. Very good. That song, The House Always Wins, the crowd saying it. Oh, man.
Oh, you could say, I mean, that is an AEW theme.
It is. It's a good one. It is a good one. Doesn't compare to the
banger.
Any of the ones that were mentioned before, but it is a good one. It is a good one. But great entrance. Great the way that looks. This was a good match. Not terribly long, but this was a good match between the two. I don't think it's the first match between the two. We'll see. I think they're going to give us a better, longer one in form here soon. But it's very back and forth. It looks like Jamie Hayter has command, and she's going to pull up a victory. But Julia Hart spits the mist in Jamie Hayter's face when Aubrey, the ref, was distracted. And Julia Hart gets a pinfall victory over Jamie Hayter using the mist. And that's how this match ends, with Jamie Hayter on the outside, blinded by the mist, and Julia Hart getting a big win in her return match, or her return Dynamite match, I should say. And yeah, I don't think that's the last we'll see of these two, but I thought it was good.
Agreed.
We then had a recap of Okada winning the Continental Classic and Kenny Omega return. And then we had a promo from Okada. And this was the most serious that I've seen Okada in a bit. He said that he's the best tournament wrestler alive. He calls Will Ospreay his... Oh, you're very blurry, Drew. I can't even see you clearly right now. There we go. There it is. Like the Force. You look like you had the Force. There you go. Thanks for me. And he calls Will Ospreay his little brother.
Why are we doing that?
What?
Why are we calling her Timu Becky Lynch?
Because Mike's being a kind of a dick today.
You're being an asshole now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I like you, Mike, but listen, you can't. You're not shitting on like.
Why wouldn't an anti AEW guy show up to the AEW show?
Like
So
you've been. I'm not like discouraging you from being here, but don't don't say stuff like that. Come on.
Yeah.
She has red hair now, so she's Timu Becky Lynch. Let's not do that.
Yeah. I mean, she got hurt and missed like a year and a half, buddy. You watch the show? So, I don't know. But so Okada cuts a promo. He says he's the best tournament wrestler alive. He calls Will Ospreay. He says, "Nice try, little brother. Nice try, little brother." He says about Will Ospreay. And then he talks about Kenny Omega and says that he should stay out of his business. Bitch. That's what he said. So that was a nice little thing there. Then we get Mercedes Moné. She makes her entrance. She gets on the mic, puts herself over, tosses to a video package, wishes herself a happy new year. Not anybody else, but wishes herself a happy new year. The video package is obviously about how great she is. It shows, and she says, if you thought 2024 was money, just wait until you see what I do this year. She goes, the first stop is Sunday in Japan, where she's putting her New Japan Strong Championship on the line against Mina Shirakawa. She says that Mina has the Rev Pro title she wants, and she'll be coming for that too. And that's how this ends. Obviously, Wrestle Dynasty is happening this Sunday. I don't know now, but now there's rumors that Camille might be done with AEW. Have you read about this?
I have not. I haven't been paying attention to that stuff.
So obviously they did the whole thing with Camille, right? It felt like it felt like the reason why they ran back Statlander and Mercedes at World's End, I felt like that was supposed to be Camille's spot. I felt like it was supposed to be Mercedes versus Camille at World's End, but something happened.
Social media presence has not been great either.
Yeah,
so
I don't. I don't know.
They decided to move
yeah,
on.
I don't know anything insider about this. I'm not gonna speculate or anything like that. But it felt like to me that this spot at World's End was going to be Mercedes versus Camille, and whatever happened, and they just ran back her and Statlander. Because it feels like the Camille thing we're just forgetting about that happened in the first place. And obviously Camille hasn't been around. I don't know what's going on there. However, I'm expecting Mercedes to beat Shirakawa on Sunday, and she's going to kind of be a belt collector here, right? Do we think?
Yeah, I would say
because it is
so.
champion. It's title versus title. It's champion versus champion on Sunday.
Yeah, so she's Monet is winning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely certain about that because she needs to be 3 belts, Monet, and just add to this character of hers that I think is working very well.
Yeah,
particularly for the last month and a half, I'd say.
Big time.
I think that her with the next belt, she's like kind of like this new belt collector.
Yeah, I think that's who she should be.
I think it works for her, so I think she should win on Sunday.
Absolutely. We then get Marvez. There you go. I'm good with it.
Hey, why not?
Why not? We get Marvez backstage interviewing the Undisputed Kingdom.
That title is when a football player holds it. So.
You know, Adam Cole says he's feeling damn good and that 2025 is going to be their year. Kyle O'Reilly agrees. He says, look, we got every type of match covered. He goes, whether it's a trios match, a tag team match, a one-on-one match, us 3, we have it all covered, man. And then Roderick Strong talks last and he says, hey, I'm in a triple threat match to get into the Casino Gauntlet. That's where my mind is at. And he goes, and when it comes to that, if we all get there next week, if we all get in that match, it's every man for himself. And then they kind of all fist bump, and Roderick Strong makes his way to the ring because we have ourselves a triple threat match, which the winner will get the number 1 spot, which, okay. So it's a Casino Gauntlet ladder match, right? So, but you can win it. Oh no, it's just a Casino Gauntlet, right? It's not a ladder match. Just a Casino Gauntlet match.
Yeah, it's just regular.
But you can win it at any time. You can pinfall and win it at any time, right? That's the rules. So like you can win the match before everybody even comes out. Like if whoever wins, yes, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it and I'm like, why would this match be for the first spot? Because in a gauntlet match, the first spot would be the worst spot.
Right.
Because you're going to be in there the longest. Yeah, but if you can win whenever, I guess that makes sense. But it was switched.
I think actually they played this with Roddy once. Maybe like one of the, I don't remember there was which Casino Gauntlet it was, but I remember that there was one where Roddy was saying, "Oh, I never got to come out because they ended."
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. So it was a triple threat match. It was Switchblade Jay White versus Roderick Strong versus Swerve Strickland. The winner would get the number 1 spot in next week's Casino Gauntlet. This was a good one. I agree, Johnny. I think it should just be Cole, Roddy, and Kyle for the most part. And Tate, yeah, I would agree there, but this was a good triple threat match between these 3. However, about halfway through this, Swerve is on the outside, I believe, with Roddy, and he's beating some people up. And as Swerve, he does a running kick along the barricade, and he kind of lands in that area where Moxley, where the people come and walk if you're coming in. And he's kind of there, celebrating with the crowd, kind of taking a breather. And all of a sudden, from behind, wearing a nice little excellent. I agree, Fernando. This match was very good. And what happened in it, the stuff that had nothing to do with the match was even better. So Swerve is against the barricade, just hitting a move. And we see Ricochet walking up behind Swerve very calmly, not running, not looking angry, just very calmly, just walking towards Swerve. He comes from behind him. He holds him, and he has a pair of gold scissors, and he just, boom, right in the forehead, just smacks Swerve. Swerve falls to the ground. Ricochet, I loved it, Sinner too. I loved it. And then Ricochet is kind of standing there, not smiling, not happy, just kind of, he's got glasses on. He
did
like,
let out like a laugh.
He did, like a kind of like, yeah, but it was very like,
not his ha ha, not that laugh.
No. It was very the Christian Bale, American Psycho-ish.
Yeah.
It had that feel to me.
I'm glad I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it had that vibe. So then, as this is happening, Roderick Strong and Switchblade Jay White are over here, and they continue the match. Roddy throws, they're all outside. Roddy throws Jay White in the ring, and then when Roddy slides into the ring, he slides right in to a Blade Runner, and Jay White wins. So Switchblade Jay White wins the match. He's the number one entrant next week in the gauntlet. He gets the hell out of there. Then we see Ricochet hop over the barricade. Well, he's standing on top of the barricade for a little bit, kind of like looking down on a bloodied Swerve. We see Ricochet kind of looking psycho-ish down at him. He jumps down, he takes off his jacket, and he just puts him against they have the announce table at the ringside. He puts him against it, and he just starts carving into the forehead. Just starts carving with the scissors to Swerve, hits him a couple more times, and then he's just punching him, laying him out. He's got blood he was wearing a white undershirt. He's got blood all over the shirt. He headbutts him. He's got blood dripping down his forehead onto the bridge of his nose. Psycho, man. And then he brings him into the ring. He's got a chair, and he's just torturing Swerve, sitting on the chair, kind of rubbing it in his face, just being a real, like, psycho heel. Violent, like Johnny said. Violent. And then, oddly enough, which I kind of liked, the Undisputed Era runs down there and gets him out of the ring, which I liked. I like seeing baby faces helping other baby faces. I like that from time to time. But a real violent attack by Ricochet, and a needed attack. Ricochet needed this. He needed this last night.
Oh.
And I thought it was done to perfection.
The show could have been right there.
Oh, it was easily, for me, the best thing that happened on the show last night. Not even close. Nothing is really even a close second. This was tremendous. This was tremendous.
Oh, my God. I was in awe. I was just in awe watching this.
Yeah.
It was. So you had mentioned.
He also attacked Nana in this as well. He attacked Nana, pushed him into the steps, hit him with the chair. So it was like, this was like very good. Very, very good.
I don't remember who said this on Twitter, if it was Ibu or somebody else. He should just be Trevor Mann now. I don't think he should call himself Ricochet. I think that's a babyface thing. And this brooding, violent, just like unfazed, emotionless looking Ricochet, I think should be Trevor. Like, this should just, Swerve's been calling him Trevor for the past few weeks.
Well, somebody has to take the mantle, because the Acclaimed looks like they might be done. So somebody's got to be, why not Ricochet?
Ricochet has taken that's no, oh man, that's funny, but that would be quite something to see.
Oh no, dude.
This is the thing that I am looking forward to the most in this company right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Whatever they're doing with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, and Swerve and Ricochet and the Hurt Business. Like this is my level of things that I care about in AEW now.
Yeah. For me, and I see your comment, Mike, obviously promos are not the strongest part of Ricochet's game. However, I would like to see him. I want to see the first couple promos that he cuts now after last night. Because I think last night that was the official, okay. Because, Ricochet was clearly leaning heel here this last 3 weeks, month. Like, he's been leaning into it. Last night, he became the heel. And this is where, yeah, exactly. Spencer nailed it completely. Promo-wise, he's been cutting babyface promos for years.
In a heel?
Not at least since, I think on the indies, like PW, I think he was like on the other side.
NXT.
Yes. But since we've seen him on a main level, and that's not to disparage anybody, but like, you know what I mean? Since we've seen him in WWE, AEW, it's been babyface, good guy, superhero. I can do things nobody else can do. Ricochet. Now, like Spencer said, like the guy behind the curtain at Love Wrestling said, we've been seeing those same Ricochet promos for a decade. Let's at least give him. He never worked heel in WWE. Never. At all.
Yeah.
At all. So to me, this is incredibly fresh for Ricochet. I want to hear a couple promos to see how he does as this guy. And then we can kind of make our assumptions and see where we go. But I think he deserves
MVP. MVP had talked about having Ricochet in the Hurt Business
Syndicate,
and it never panned out.
Oh, you mean in WWE? They wanted them in WWE. Yes, but yeah.
I think he wanted both Ricochet and Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. Oh, a couple people are saying that he was a heel when he was Prince Puma in Lucha Underground. So again, I've watched some Lucha Underground, but not all. Did he cut a lot of promos? I know he wore under a mask. Did he cut a ton of promos and like heel promos? Like I said, for me, in my viewing of Ricochet regularly in NXT, WWE, and here, this is the first time that I'm seeing him. Yeah, Prince Puma did rule. This is the first time that I'm seeing him as a heel. So I am very interested. I am very, very interested in this. So I feel like let's see a couple promo. Like I assume either on Collision or next week Dynamite, he's going to cut a promo, whether it's backstage or in the ring, explaining.
I'm gonna guess probably backstage.
I feel like that would be a safer bet for now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think let's see him. Let's see how he attacks it promo wise as this new evil dastardly heel that we saw last night, and then we can go. Like Spencer said, we can go from there because he really hasn't cut any legitimate. I've never seen the guy cut any legitimate heel promos, so I at least want to see a few before I'm like, oh yeah, he's still having kind of promo. Maybe we put him with the Hurt Syndicate and let that, or whatever.
The last few weeks, whenever he has talked, I think he sounded a hell of a lot better than any WWE promo he ever cut. So
yeah, I agree. So just real good stuff. Very excited to see where that goes from here. That has immediately shot up into one of the things I care about the most, because I'm very interested in seeing this new side of Ricochet for all of us. It's very fresh. All right. And then it was Jeff Jarrett time. So let's talk about this. Obviously, at World's End, after the pre-show match, Jeff Jarrett was backstage with the crew, and he said that on Dynamite, he was going to go out there and talk to the people about his future. So we come back from commercial. Alex Marvez is in the back. He is with Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. They're looking for Jarrett. They said they don't know what's going on. Sanjay's talking to Jay Lethal. He's like, is he sure about that? I don't know. We then see Jarrett roll up. He asks if they've seen Karen. He hasn't seen Karen at all. They're asking him if he's sure about whatever he's planning to do out there, but they support him 100%. But are you sure? And before Jarrett can answer, we do see Karen come into frame. She said that she just needed a minute because this business brought them together, but it's almost broken them at times. But she says, whatever you want, I want, and we are unbreakable together. And then we see her hand him a pair of wrestling boots. And in wrestling terms, we all know what that means. If you're bringing your wrestling boots out there, it usually means you are retiring. So, but before Jarrett makes his way to the ring, I thought Mariah May cut a very good promo backstage. She said she's done doing all the bad things, and she's been asked to talk. She's been asked to stop talking bad about the women's division. So she goes, fine, I will. She goes, the women's division is great. And she goes, and why? She goes, because I had more matches than anyone last year. Than any other woman, I had the most matches. And none of the others even cracked the top 10. And she goes, and I'm so good that most of you didn't even notice how good I am. And she goes, I'm standing on all their necks, and if they want a chance to breathe again, they'll all have to work for it because I am the champion, and they need to earn a right to face me. So a nice little quick promo by Mariah May. All right. Jeff Jarrett makes his entrance. There's a guitar in the ring. He does the typical thing, wishes everybody a happy new year, but he wants to get right down to business. He says over the last few days, he's been trying to put the words together, emotions, and all this stuff. He says he's grateful. He has gratitude. He's thankful for this, for his career. He says it's sad for him to start thinking about things coming to an end, but he's been doing this for over 40 years. Yeah, he wished it was a slappy new year. I'm sorry. It was a slappy new year, he said. My bad. He starts talking about his family history, says in the 40s in Nashville. He talks about his grandmother. She got a second job selling wrestling tickets, and then the dad got involved, and then the grandmother became the CFO of the Tennessee Territory, and that's how his dad got into the business and were promoting shows and all this stuff. So he's going through his family history. Spencer saying, slappy New Year, you'd buy that shirt? I probably, yeah, I'm not. Then he talks about how he dropped out of college to pursue wrestling, which his family did not want him to do, all this stuff. Then he talks about, hey, in 2002, I bet on myself in the biggest way I could. I launched a promotion. People started chanting TNA. And he goes, and in my opinion, that promotion has produced some of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. He goes, and that brings me to tonight. And he picks up his boots. And he goes, as a 12-time heavyweight champion and 2-time Hall of Famer, I ask myself if I should just ride off into the sunset. And he goes, and that answer is hell no. He goes, because the thought that keeps on running through my mind is, Jeff, when you take the biggest risk, you get the biggest reward. So he announces that he has signed his very last pro wrestling contract and that he resigned with AEW. He didn't say how long. I don't know how long it is. No idea. But he says he wants one more ride, and not just any ride. He wants AEW gold. And he says, I'm not talking about trios. I'm not talking about tags. He says, I'm talking about taking the biggest risk of my career. And he goes, and if I fall flat on my face, oh well. He goes, next week there's a gauntlet. I want in on it. And he goes, January 1st, 2025, the last Outlaws New Year's resolution is that I want to become the AEW World Champion. And that's how this segment ends. So, I thought for what it was, I thought it was a good promo by Jarrett. I just don't know how many people truly want this guy to be AEW World Champion. I know Sinner does, but I think that's part ironic.
Well, there's one person in the chat.
Yeah,
but that guy's
Scott. That's probably a good call out. If he signed a 2-year career, he'll make it to 40 years in wrestling. So that would maybe
that makes sense.
Maybe that would be a good round number to end on.
Sinner's a little biased, so.
Well, so isn't Mike. He said that Jeff Jarrett single-handedly saved AEW. Oh, how about that? Oh, boy. All right. I think I think they can make it work. I really do think that they could make this kind of work where he's going for the title, but I mean, come on. Come on. Jeff Jarrett
Well,
is
sooner
as
you would want him to be champion, though. I mean, come on, let's be real there. But you're friends with him, so I get it. But
yeah, there we go,
this
Johnny.
promo,
all the old guys. Yeah, all the old guys. But anyway, yes, talk about because I thought the promo was actually good. I thought it was a good
oh yeah,
segment, you know? And I like Jarrett. I'm not anti-Jarrett.
he is legitimately a great wrestler, both in ring with
Mhm.
wrestling, with talking. Like
Yep.
he's great at that. So I didn't have any issues with this promo.
No, of course
I
not.
kind of like right before he came out, I was kind of feeling like, okay, this feels a bit too on the nose.
I
It
felt like
doesn't
somebody
seem
was
like
going to come out and attack him or something. Right?
I did think that at first,
Yeah.
but when he brought the boots out and stuff, I'm like, I feel like this isn't what we're actually going to see here. I don't think he's actually retiring yet, and I'm glad that he's not because I have legitimately enjoyed him in AEW. While it is a little strange right now to have a lot of older gentlemen
Yeah.
going for the AEW title.
Yeah.
All of those older gentlemen have been presented very well in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not this isn't like WWE Sting or WWE most of the older guys that they really bring in to either just do a one-off match or get a crowd nostalgia for pop.
Mm.
Like Goldberg, for example.
Yeah.
Um, I really like how they treated Sting, how they've been treating Christian, how they've been treating Adam Copeland. Fucking Cope thing, Jesus Christ. Or there's a new shirt that just came out today. Legend.
Oh, really?
Yes, and there's a D in there. And not the D at the end.
Oh, get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Okay. That's fair.
Legend.
Ledge.
Yes.
I see what they did there. I see what they did there.
Which that I don't. So you want to call him since we can't call him Edge, and I feel like part of the reason why they're doing this cope thing, one is because they all love to tell everybody to cope with whatever is going on. That's number
Mm-hmm.
one. Number two, the it's like, oh, we know him as a 4-letter, 1-syllable word, so now we're just gonna do that again, but with part of his last name.
Yeah.
And oh, Spencer.
Well, here's the thing though. But I think Sunday Cinder might be onto something, man, because I do think there is a chance that Jarrett does win that gauntlet next week. I think there's a chance.
That's possible.
It's in Tennessee. Jarrett gets the upset win, and then the next week he just gets ruined by Moxley.
He also didn't win the first round of the Owen tournament, but
yeah.
you know.
But I could see that because I don't personally. I think the next, from what they're telling me, I feel like Jay White is the next one on, even though they had him fucking get pinned in the main event, which I don't understand why they did. But I feel like we're heading towards Jay White. Obviously, Copeland is there, right? Because that's what they did. But I feel like Jay White is kind of the next guy that will be going. You know what I mean? But I don't know if they just have Jay White win it next week and that's the match in 2 weeks. I don't know if they do that. So I feel like there's a chance Jarrett could sneak that next week. I think there's a chance. That'd be something.
Yeah, I mean it is possible. I didn't take into account the Tennessee aspect, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll see. I mean, Jay White could. Oh, Jay. Well, no, Jay White is from New Zealand, not Australia. So,
Yeah, but
because they're going to
New
have Grand
Zealand is
Slam
like,
in Australia.
New Zealand's right there. So I feel like Jay White getting the main event
New
match against
Zealand is
Mox.
not right there.
Yeah.
Is it?
What?
Are they
They're
next to each other?
I thought so. I thought a lot of people consider them to be kind of not neighborly, but they're like, obviously Australians are not New Zealand people and New Zealanders are not Australian, but I feel like they're lumped
Oh, they are next to
sometimes
each other.
together.
Right. I was thinking
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, they're really close. So like, I feel like Jay White getting a main event match for the world title, maybe a Grand Slam in Australia is a way to go. I do think we're going to get Tony and Mariah at Grand Slam for sure. But I could see Jay White getting a big match there against Mox as well. We'll see though. We'll have to see when we get there. That's a few months away. Is it at the end of next month? Is that when it is? End of February? Middle of February? It's soonish,
Mid-February.
Right? Mid-February? So we're about a little bit over a month from that. So we'll see. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We then got Hook cutting a promo, basically saying that he's still going after Christian Cage. He's gonna choke his ass out like he did in the suite. You know. We then had Powerhouse Hobbs.
Lucky Christian.
Yeah. We then had Powerhouse Hobbs defeating two men together. John Cruz and Rob Killjoy were their names. And Powerhouse squashed them. So it was a handicap squash match for Powerhouse Hobbs. He stacked both guys on top of each other, and he won that one. So, yeah, I mean, look, I don't feel either way about this. Like, I'm glad they showcased Hobbs, but this match is not anything that did. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know if you felt a certain way about it at all. I was just kind of like, okay, like I'm glad he's on the show as opposed to not on the show because I like Powerhouse Hobbs a lot. But I mean, this match didn't do anything.
They do this weird thing a lot where like the loser of a pay-per-view match is the first person that we see after the pay-per-view instead of the winner of the pay-per-view match.
Yeah,
I don't really understand
to build them back up.
I guess.
Yeah,
so this isn't how exactly I do it, but I'm not Tony Khan. So.
No. We then had a backstage segment with Big Bill and Brian Keith. They talk about how Chris Jericho ain't coming to this place. Like, this place is all right, but they're not. He's not coming. He's not coming down here. And they call Rated FTR out. They say that he doesn't know if they should be more ashamed of being proud from being from Asheville, or Asheville should be more ashamed for being proud of them. They need to be taken down a branch or two. And then Brian Keith grabs the mic and he calls them Rated R dumbasses. And then we get Adam Copeland. He says that he's not a bad apple. He's like a tumbleweed. No, wait. No. Big Bill. Wait, what? No, because Adam Copeland came up, right? And confronted them? Yes. And then
Adam Copeland told, Brian Keith called him dumbass.
Yes. And then they came up.
And then Copeland said that he's like not a really bad apple and whatever.
Yes, he's like a tumbleweed. And he said that Big Bill's face is stupid. So they challenged the Learning Tree to a trios match on Saturday on Collision. So we're going to get Rated FTR versus the Learning Tree with Jericho. Oh my God, I have somebody calling me. Jeez Louise. Terrible timing.
Yeah, right towards the end of the show here.
Horrible timing. Hold on. Don't mind me.
Is it important?
I don't know, but nobody calls me at this time.
You want to answer it? And
I have to answer this. I have to answer this. I'm sorry. Can you go solo for a second? Talk about the main event?
Yes, I can do that.
I'll be right back.
All right. So, all right, everybody. For the main event, now I don't have notes, so I need to pull up what happened in the main event because I don't remember because I didn't really care about it that much. Sorry to say. So, Yeah, so what happened in the main event was that, obviously the, oh, no, wait, I'm on the wrong thing. Hold on. See, this is what happens when things are not planned. Um, 1 second. 1 second, and I'm gonna get there. I promise you. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so basically what happened in this match, I know it was the 6-man. I just didn't care about it. So, um, I mean, so I will say, okay, I won't say that I didn't care about it necessarily. I did, as much as I've been saying that I don't want to see Copeland and Moxley together that much, I did enjoy their parts of this match. There were moments where it was just the two of them, and I did enjoy Copeland and Moxley together. I just
Yeah.
am confused for like why he would be the one. Like most of this whole pairing and everything really seemed like it was for this Asheville hurricane relief thing. So now for it to be like going beyond that, or maybe it doesn't go beyond that. I mean, if they have the learning tree on Saturday,
Mm.
but then that wouldn't make sense for Copeland's promo at World's End. So there's a lot going on right now, and I'm kind of just like, yeah,
I'm fine.
and
Everything's fine. It was just my doctor. And I was like, why?
oh,
I was like, why are you calling me? And they were like, oh, we're just confirming your appointment next week. I'm like, great. I'm like, they called me once. I didn't pick up. So leave a message. They called me immediately again. And I'm like, so when they called the second time, I was like, I have to take, like, why are they calling me back to back?
yeah,
If you call somebody, Drew, and you leave a message and then you call them right back, they're going to think it's super important, correct?
I
If
would,
it's a
yes,
back-to-back
yeah,
call, Anyway, I digress. Anyway, but yeah, they wanted to sell me an extended warranty or insurance. It was an insurance call. That's what it was. No, I'm kidding. But all right. So you were talking about the main event
yeah.
there?
It was the 6-man was there's hardly ever really a bad match.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I thought it was fine.
It's just that I didn't really care about it that much because I'm not into the rated FTR Death Riders thing that much. But I mean, I can be swayed, as we've known. The Continental Classic swayed me. Other things have swayed me in the past, so it's not like I'm shutting it out completely.
Yeah.
But now that FTR are going to be moving on to the Learning Tree on Saturday, is that going to
Mm.
be a one-off?
I think that'll be a one-off. Yeah. I think that's just so they can have a big match
Things
at
with
Collision.
okay, listen, we know Le Champion Chris Jericho. Okay. Well, the Nueve Chris Jericho, as he's calling himself now. Things never are one and done with him.
So I don't see Adam Copeland going for the Ring of Honor World Champ. I think this is a one-off. I think it is. I think this is just, hey, how can we have a big trios match on Saturday? Learning Tree's a trios. Fine. That's kind of how I kind of view this. I don't think I could see FTR maybe. Yeah, no, I don't think it'll be more than just what we see on set. It doesn't. I think Jericho is going to be involved with whoever is next in line to go after the Ring of Honor champion. Like, I don't think that's Adam Copeland. I just don't. So I don't know. I just thought they needed a big time trios team for them to go against. That wasn't the Death Riders again. And the Learning Tree is one of the few they have that are bad guys, because I don't think they were going to do House of Black or anything like that. So, and I think the Learning Tree, even with Jericho, I think that's an easy trios for them to just beat on Saturday. And it doesn't matter. You know?
Yeah.
They're not going to fight the Undisputed Era. They're not going to fight the House of Black. Who else are they going to fight? I mean, you could. That's like a higher profile. However you look at it. I know people know, Jericho is, but like a higher profile trios match. Who else were they going to, They're not doing the Death Riders again. They're not going to do House of Black. They're not going to do the newly reformed Undisputed Era. You're not going to do Top Flight and you're not going to, that's not big enough. Feel like that the learning tree is of stature, a big enough group.
There is no three-man Top Flight anymore anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. But that's kind of how I view that. I would not, and I get where it's coming from with the Jericho thing, because you are right. Mostly when Jericho usually gets put into things, it is not a one-off. But I feel like this time it will be. It will be. Sinner just says, I thought of something. Jarrett comes up short in the gauntlet, then Jericho runs into him, and Jarrett ends up going after Jericho for the Ring of Honor title. I mean, I would be okay with that, but I mean, his promo said he specifically wants the AEW World Championship. Specifically, which makes me think, I wouldn't be opposed to Jarrett going after other things, but I don't, we'll have to see. And yeah, I mean, that's how the show went off the air. Adam Copeland got the win after Wheeler Yuta's the guy. He got the, they had the spot where Moxley went through the barricade, right? With Adam Copeland.
I really like that spot. That was good.
That was a good spot. And then Wheeler Yuta was kind of the guy in the ring that got everything. He got the shatter machine, and then they kind of lifted him back up for the spear. Edge, damn it, I did it again. Adam Copeland then pins him.
You can call him a legend now.
Yeah, legend. Well, I'm not calling him the other thing. Johnny, it is not just you. It is not just you. The Death Riders are seen running away from things way more than they are dominating things. It feels like. They win them. Now, don't get me wrong, except for last night, Moxley wins the matches he needs to win. He's been the champion for a little bit now. He wins the matches he needs to win, but I feel like every time we see the Death Riders, they are running away from stuff. They are running away from stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see. We talked about it at length over this last month or so, but this whole Death Riders angle started off really, really hot, and then I don't really know where they're going with it now. I don't really know where they're going.
And now I kind of don't care.
So we'll have to see. We'll have to see where it goes. But that was it for AEW, folks. That was it for the AEW. We have Collision on Saturday.
For them to have not had any storyline progression at World's End. None. No.
That's part of the reason why I didn't like
anything. Yeah. No title reveal. No title period. Still to go into 2025 to still not be seeing the world title, and who the hell knows when that's going to happen now at this point. They're going to go to a Revolution. We're not going to see this belt for another 2 months after we've already not seen it for 3 months.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. It's flat out stupid. Even if you're like, oh, we're redesigning the title doesn't need to be redesigned. It's gorgeous. I just want to see it.
Yeah. I mean, personally,
like I gotta see somebody, a football player holding it, or some marks in the crowd that bring the belts. That's the only time I get to see the AEW title now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm a big I love Jon Moxley. I think he's Mr. AEW to me. Even though this story is
not an AEW story.
No, but he's Mr. AEW.
WWE writer came in.
Exactly.
He's Mr. We're gonna do some bloodline bullshit.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm there already, but like I need this to end. I need this to end. Or at least something needs to happen in this story that brings it to a different gear or something like that. But this needs to, I need a point to what we're doing here. I need a point to what we're doing here because I haven't seen a point. Bless you. I haven't seen a point to what we're doing here in a little bit. So, Mike, you're right. You know, you've been kind of you were one of the early ones that was against this, and we did say, hey, you got to give this time to play out. Time has not worked in this story's favor. Time has not worked in this story's favor.
No,
Not at all. So, you know,
worse.
yeah. So hopefully they kind of figure out what we're doing here, because, you know, I'm not as, I haven't seen the title in a long time as you are, but I understand that argument. This story has not progressed at all. It has not progressed. And you got to figure out when the hell it's progressing.
The world's end factor of this show was going to be Adam Copeland coming to take the title from Jon Moxley.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't know. We'll see, though. They got time. We'll see. We'll see. But that was this week's. I know. That was this week's Firmly AEW. Talk some World's End, talk some Dynamite, some good, some bad. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty solid week for AEW. They obviously had a big time deal with the simulcast last night, and it went very well. We're heading into we are in 2025 now. New contract, new things, stuff like that. So we'll have to see where things go. But Drew and I will be back next week, Tuesday, 10 a.m., Firmly WWE, and then obviously next Thursday here for some more AEW talk. But Drew, until then, let the people know where they can find you. And then we're going to get up on out of here, man, because you have to go back to work today. My kid.
Yeah.
My kid.
Go here, Twitter, Blue Sky, without Super Chats, Humper Chats, Fightful, AEW, Collision Post Show with Rick Cresta and Iridian, Roundtable Pro Wrestling Podcast with the Thorn in My Side, Sunday Center. Follow AEW on Twitter as well.
Heck yeah. Follow me, JPJ Loves Gaming, on all platforms, including YouTube and Twitch. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. with this guy doing the Firmly thing. Tonight, 8 p.m., the flagship show here at Love Wrestling, between two beards, myself and Pluggo. We got Muscle Man Malcolm joining us tonight.
I'm very much
dude.
Forward to that.
Great dude. He'll be with us for about the first half hour or so of the show. We're going to talk some 2025 predictions, talk some 2024. We met him in Cleveland for SummerSlam. He's a great dude. Great dude. Been following him for a bit, so we're excited to have him on for a little bit. And then, me and Pluggo, we'll get into a whole bunch of things tonight as well. One thing that me and Pluggo are getting into is we will be at the Royal Rumble this year. We both will be doing that. So we'll be in Indy at the beginning of February. The Beards will be taking over Indy and the Royal Rumble. So that will be more stuff. Lou's here, always at the end. Unbelievable. It's like he hears me hear certain, like I say certain words.
Lately.
Yeah. I say certain words and he's like, oh, he's done. Let me come ruin the audio before I get out of here. Yep, 100%. Hey, bud. Yeah, man. But all right, I'm going to do it now quickly before he gets up here and ruins my audio. But yeah, you can follow us there. Follow everyone at Love Wrestling. Johnny, you might be right. But like all of us, it's a wait and see, man. We have to see how it goes. Dude, we'll link up, Sinner. You let me know. We will be there. I think we're getting in on Thursday, and we will be there. We're leaving on Sunday. So we'll be there the whole time. Obviously, we got media credentials, so we'll be doing some WWE stuff, whatever they give us access to. But we should have plenty of time to meet up with friends and things like that and have ourselves a good time that weekend. So hit me up in the DMs, bro. We'll plan something. But thank you to everybody for popping in, everybody in the chat. Mike, Sunday Center, Eric, Boss Man, Scott, Johnny, whole lot of you. Asian Joe, Fernando, Boss Man. All you guys. We appreciate all you guys. Drew and I will see you on Tuesday at 10 a.m. for Firmly WWE. I will see you all later on this evening at 8 o'clock for Between Two Beards. Have yourselves a great rest of your weekend. And until next time, y'all know the drill. Peace out.